Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you're well from wherever you're watching this channel. I'd like to start this session by appreciating you so much for making this channel grow. If you wish to support us, just subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. KARUA yesterday officially launched the Kamwene Forum, a faction that is supposed to channel all the grievances, all the agendas of the Mount Kenya. This move by KARUA to officially launch the Kamwene Forum caught Rigathi Gachagua by shock. And this explains why maybe Rigathi Gachagua could have convened a 3 a.m. meeting previously, meeting of the business community of the Mount Kenya. Also, I have noticed that KARUA's statements after that.
Let us not shift the blame to professionals. The real blame, even though there are many others inside there who will share blame, is on the RUTO administration.
So in that interview, KARUA decided to throw direct political salvos on William Samoei Ruto. And if you listen to the interview, you will realize that KARUA had words well calculated, well thought out. And this time round, he sent the message directly to William Samoei Ruto. And I think William Samoei Ruto might be forced to convene his own another interview with these other media houses so that he can address these issues. Because if you listen to what KARUA said in the video that I'm about to share, you will realize that William Samoei Ruto has nowhere to run.
You have sworn to defend and protect the Constitution. The job you claim to hold, whether legitimately or illegitimately in this case, is given to you by the people of Kenya. That is not a position. That is your birthright. It is bestowed on you by Kenyans, by the Constitution, to protect them. So everything you do must be in public good. This action of demolition is malicious because it is planned to inflict maximum damage. Even if at the end of the day demolition had to happen, you would allow people time to remove their treasured goods.
After that interview, what do you make of the assertions of the statements from KARUA and this earlier plan or the earlier meeting? Because Kamwene Forum is supposed to channel those needs of the Mount Kenya people. This Kamwene Forum is the tool that will be used to finish Gachagua within the Mount Kenya. Perhaps that explains why Gachagua decided to convene a meeting at 3 a.m. Had some ulterior motives, because why would he convene a 3 a.m. meeting? But that's the meeting that was convened, and the people there were forced to show up at that particular hour because it was the deputy president. So he used his powers to force these people to come that early. Talking about demolitions, talking about the high cost of living, ameenda to a level of kumwambia William Samoei Ruto, unajificha nyuma ya Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta's blames, the blames on Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta.
And to even salvage the building materials that they can, you wouldn't pounce on them that way. Imagine schools are just about to close this month. Why would you do that to prevent children from closing school?
What would we say about the other organizations, now even away from the legal profession, the ESCC, of which back in 2015, the then governor for Machakos had already written to the ESCC, so they were appraised of what could be going on this piece of land, yet they failed to take action. We've seen the DCI come later after the fact to start investigating it. What would you say about these institutions?
Let me say this, that right now, the institutions I would call out is mainly the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, a constitutional commission. When you see rights of people being violated, We want to see the National Commission boldly telling the government the style of evicting people and demolitions is contrary to the letter and spirit of Constitution. It's against the law, and it's against international law, and our Constitution makes international law part of the laws of Kenya. I would want to hear them calling out the government because we pay them. They are an independent commission. I know that occasionally they do it, but I want to hear their voice on this. And if it had come on day one, if they themselves as a commission had gone to court to halt the demolitions so that if they have to be done, they are done in a better manner, I would want to see people raise their voices, and they are raising their voices against what is happening. Imagine if floods came, like we are expecting El Nino, or any accident occurs, like we've had terrible and grisly road accidents, where people are involved, numbers that are beyond 10. It's a humanitarian crisis, especially where it's more than 100 people. Even when the government has nothing to do with it and administration has nothing to do with it, the duty of first aid, of humanitarian assistance falls with the regime. Why would you create a humanitarian crisis? Evictions, even when they are legitimate, there has to be notice. And if it's a mass eviction, the administration has to involve itself in knowing what alternative sites can these people move to as they prepare. This is something that is so hurting. It is so bad. I'm imagining someone demolishing my home and then I have nowhere to go. Sometimes to build, people take loans. It's just crazy.
Questions are also being asked now that you've mentioned the Kenya National Human Rights Commission. And generally, the performance or the activities by civil society in responding to or agitating for the issues that afflict Kenyans at the moment appears to have dimmed down quite a bit. Questions have been raised about the response to even the cost of living, and people asking, where is the civil society that used to be as active probably back then when we were agitating for multi-party democracy?
I will say that civil society has been with us. I've noticed it myself. When we were demonstrating on cost of living, they had their own demonstrations and were brutalized as much as we were brutalized. When during the last demonstrations in July, there was mass murder of over 50 people, because the total demonstrations, there is more than 75 deaths that we know. If you look at the Azimio suit in court, civil society was there. There was a very good statement by LSK in conjunction with Amnesty, in conjunction with Kenya Human Rights Commission, the NGO. And in this particular one, there was a feeble voice also from the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights. There were multiple institutions talking about it, including the Independent Medical Legal Unit, IMLU. So I won't want to indict civil society. I want to indict the RUTO regime for its brutality, that within a year, it has taken us further than even the infamous KANU regime ever took us.
Okay. Now, on this issue of the cost of living, it was top of the agenda for the Azimio coalition.
So unajificha nyuma ya Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta kwamba kila kitu ambacho unachofanya unafail, unasema ni Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta alifail, whereas you are on your second year of your first term, whereby you should have settled now and be doing something. So but the fact that he keeps on blaming Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is what Martha Karua has come out to say that cannot be the case. So ladies and gentlemen, what do you make of this Kamwene forum and what Martha Karua said in that video? I don't want to talk much about this video because all the details are well thought out and well explained, and I think Martha Karua has shared them in a manner in which it's very easy to understand. So just, I hope you've listened to the video. You can go back and listen to it again on that interview, so you get to understand some other details which you didn't have.